Right.
Welcome to a video on how to get good at Electro Citron, perhaps the most overlooked character in the game. Players who are able to master this orange shoved into the darkness, that is the bottom of every tier list known to man, will realize that within the right hands, he can still be a dominant force. Let's get started. Electro Citron is a variant of the Citron class who has been at the bottom of tier lists for so many fucking years that he is able to mask his eternal depression and moves on from how most people perceive him in the modern age. His primary is that of a semi-automatic volt gun that can either be spam fired or charged up to unleash more powerful attacks. The weapon can be fired at up to 350 rounds per minute and has 24 ammo per clip before needing to take a 2.25 second reload. Each shot fired can deal 10 damage for a normal hit and 12 for a critical hit. However, the weapon has extremely harsh drop off, with it going down to 3.5 damage for a normal hit and 4.2 for a critical hit at medium range. This makes his default fire mostly a point blank range weapon, as trying to use it beyond the length of Wolfie's foresight will make you look like a complete fucking tit. Hitting an enemy will also tag any nearby additional enemies for 3 damage per hit, so if you happen to get into a 2v1, as long as they stay near each other, you should be fine. However, that's not the only thing Electro Citron has up his sleeve, for he is able to charge up his weapon and unleash powerful and more devastating attacks. His first level of charge can be reached after 1 second of charging and costs 4 ammo to fire. Each shot fired by the level 1 charge can deal 50 damage for a normal hit and 57 for a critical hit and up to 15 for the splash in a decent sized radius. However, the weapon suffers the same harsh damage drop off, dealing 22 damage for a normal hit and 23.5 for a critical hit. However, the damage drop off has 10 meters more range than the non-charged shots, so it makes this level of charge more useful at mid-range engagements, and because of its relatively quick time to charge, should be your primary method of dealing damage with Electro Citron. Like the non-charged shots, they also have chain lightning, though it can instead deal 10 damage and connect to an additional target for 5 additional damage, so you can, if the stars align, be able to deal with multiple people if they happen to be close together and not know the basic principle of physics. Moving on to the maximum charge, the big motherfucker. This glorious charge takes a lengthy 2.5 seconds to charge and costs 8 ammo to fire. Each shot fired by this big motherfucker can deal 75 damage for a normal hit and 85 damage for a critical hit and up to 25 for the splash in a massive radius. Like his other options, it has quite harsh drop off, going down to 37 damage for a normal hit and 39.5 damage for a critical hit, with the damage drop off range being even longer, making it viable at mid range and even long range if you can consistently land your shots. And as per previous protocols, it also has chain lightning damage, which is even stronger, though given how gimmicky electric variants tend to be, unless you're dealing with a pocket healer, then the chain lightning damage won't come into play often, so you can just use this high burst of damage to either initiate fights or to just one-shot imps without a care in the world for their existence. The optimum upgrade setup for the Electro Citron would be the ammo, reload, and damage upgrades, with the ammo and reload upgrades being especially important, as they lift a lot of the restrictions off from using the charged shots, as not only will you have more ammo to work with, but will also be able to refill your ammo supply quickly. In terms of strengths, the Electro Citron has access to an intense amount of burst damage that can outright one-shot imps with a direct hit and can easily melt through most classes by spamming his mid-charge. His chain lightning damage also means that he can deal with pocket healers without even directly targeting them. Lastly, his weapon gains more range as you charge it up, making it more flexible at long distances. However, like every other Citron, his damage suffers greatly at long range, making him limited to close to mid-range engagements. His full charge, whilst devastating and powerful, costs a lot of ammo and takes a long time to charge, so going for it will be quite risky. Lastly, his chain damage only comes into effect when against multiple people, so it will not be useful in one-on-one situations. Thanks to this guide, you will now realize that this glowy blue boy is not as bad as everyone thinks and be able to surprise dominate lobbies without even trying at all. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.